So this is interesting. Over at the Supreme Court yesterday after we got off the air, the Supreme Court issued a ruling on this dispute between the state of Texas and the federal government over who controls the border. And interestingly, first off, the four Republicans on the court, Clarence Thomas, Sam Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Beerbong Brett, all argued that Texas was within their rights to enforce federal border law, which is like a direct contradiction to the Constitution, but is, you know, support for a partisan Republican here, Greg Abbott, the Texas governor. But both John Roberts, the Chief Justice, and Amy Coney Barrett joined the three liberals on the court and said, no, this is wrong, this is illegal, and the federal government can take down the Razorwire and undo the stuff that Greg Abbott is doing, which is really interesting. This has caused the MAGA crowd to just lose their minds. I mean, they're just going nuts. Laura Loomer, the right-wing nut job, she said, not good, we're losing our country. It's Lara Logan, another right-wing nut job. What do they have on Barrett and Roberts? James Kirkpatrick, you know, the old-time conservative commentator who used to be taken seriously and now has gone totally MAGA crazy. He said, laws can't compare to a female judge's feelings. It's illegal to enforce immigration law because borders make Amy Coney Barrett feel sad. Yes, let's get those women off the court. That's James Kirkpatrick's thought. And Aristophanes, an account on Twitter or X, said, once again, Amy Coney Barrett was a huge mistake, and we all kind of knew this when we saw that she had 2 adopted foreign children. And then some right-wing hate host says, the next busload of illegals Greg Abbott sends north should go right to Amy Coney Barrett's front door. And the one after that, too. What a disgrace. And now you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene going nuts about this thing. And Clay Higgins. Clay Higgins is the Republican congressman from Louisiana. And he said, my thoughts are that the feds are staging a civil war and Texas should stand their ground. Right, just what we need. Members of Congress encouraging a civil war. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was on a right-wing show, and you know, he said, what do you think about this disastrous, unconstitutional ruling by the Supreme Court yesterday? This was this morning, and she said, this is how communism starts. By having the federal government enforce border laws rather than states? I guess. She says, I was just talking to a New Hampshire voter right here, an independent, and he was saying that statism is a concern and the big government is a concern. That's what the Biden administration absolutely has brought is big, powerful government, which is communism. Oh, my God. She goes on to say, we literally saw a ruling that's going to put the federal government at war with the state of Texas. What's going to be happening with the Border Patrol? What's going to be happening with Texas law enforcement? Are we actually going to see them fighting with one another? Apparently, this really excites Margie. She goes on to say, this is the most radical, devastating thing that we have ever seen happen in the Supreme Court ruling, and I think Texas needs to stand their ground, and we should join Texas in their fight against the federal government. And I'm calling for that right now.